Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Weekend Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. As always, it's great to have you joining us. The straw industry in the New Providence will undergo operational changes almost a year after the opening of the modern facility. Steps are being taken to bring together all markets under one operating umbrella. This would result in outlets at Fort Charlotte, Paradise Island, Cable Beach, and Fort Fincastle being placed under one government agency. The process is being viewed as a key step in the development of the industry. The new chairman of the Straw Market Authority, Ron Pinder, says talks are underway with colleague agencies to complete this procedure before the end of the year.
We are in discussions with the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation to transfer Fort Charlotte and Fort Fincastle. We have finalized the transfer of Fort Fincastle, which will be officially transferred to us on October 1st. We're still in discussions with Fort Charlotte, and then we will commence discussions with the Bahamas Agricultural Industrial Corporation, BAIC. The approach moving forward is to streamline the management of the authority, as well as streamline the promotion of the straw market industry, as well as streamline the training of Bahamians to engage in the manufacturing of authentic Bahamian goods.
Currently, the Straw Market Authority is assessing the market's operations, and Pinder says he is pleased with the overall maintenance program. He says changes are also on tap to enhance the visitor experience.
In the main downtown straw market, we have caused there to be the installation of public seating. None existed prior to the new board taking office on July 1st. We also have some infrastructural concerns. The building was constructed to be an open market concept, but we are finding that there is need to install fans and there is a need to enhance the exhaust system to keep the building cool and to make for it a very comfortable and pleasant experience. We're also looking at putting in place some concession stands in the market. Why? Because we don't want people to just browse for 5 or 10 minutes. We want to create an experience where they come and shop. They're able to sit and rest and also get some refreshments while in the market.
The question of funding the changes also surfaced, but Pinder says while the collection of vendor stall fees remains a challenge, there will be no increases in stall fees. The financial services sector continues to evolve with positive changes on tap, not only for the country, but for career opportunities in the industry. More persons in the sector are sharpening their skills, with over 100 of them completing special training with the Bahamas Institute of Financial Services. These individuals were presented with certificates last evening. The group was told by the Minister of State and Legal Affairs, Damian Gomez, that the Bahamas is now in a position to not only sustain itself in the industry, but to once again become a dominant jurisdiction.
We must continue to demonstrate that we are a jurisdiction with a highly skilled workforce, a long history of integrity, a well-regulated industry where wealth is managed, and in turn positioned for international business and investment globally. In this vein, we remain committed to the philosophy of confidentiality and look to work hand in hand with the regulators to ensure that we are a jurisdiction sensitive to the operation of the private sector and an attractive jurisdiction to the international financial services participants.
Referring to the market shift with new financial potentials in Latin America, Mr. Gomez says Bahamians must be ready for change.
As we experience this shift, it is important that the Bahamas positions itself to not only possess a first mover advantage, but also have the necessary expertise to be dominant in this new market. We are committed to developing continuing education initiatives in cooperation with the Institute to prepare you for the shift in the market. We propose professional continuing education courses for professionals. inclusive of access to language courses, so each and every one of you has the opportunity to take advantage of our shift.
An apparent sick-out involving employees at the Rand Memorial Hospital in Grand Bahama has ended. We are told employees are now back on the job. But Union President John Pinder continues talks with officials over what action may be taken against those members. Pinder has indicated that the alleged sick-out cannot be characterized as industrial action because it was not sanctioned by the union. He's now asking for leniency for his members as they continue to discuss the way forward. Meantime, the Public Hospital Authority says it has addressed those issues raised by employees, among them an additional fleet of ambulance for the Rand Memorial Hospital and more training for staff. A local church which stands as a landmark in the Centerville community observing a golden milestone. Calvary Bible Church is celebrating 50 years of Christian ministry. Today, the congregation participated in a service of thanksgiving and special luncheon to reflect on their accomplishments over the past 5 decades. Calvary Bible Church has a list of ministries for the youth, media, and international missions and operates a Christian counseling center. The church also spearheads several community outreach programs focusing on families in need by providing clothing and food items. Dignitaries attending today's special event included Governor General Sir Arthur Foulkes and Lady Foulkes and Prime Minister Perry Christie. The Prime Minister applauded the leaders of Calvary Bible Church for their many contributions.
We rely on you in this part of our Lord's vineyard to let there be a glow. That when people pass this church, they get to see more than a building. They get to know that this is a church. This is a church that goes outside of the 4 walls. Thank you very much on behalf of the Bahamian people for these wonderful 50 years that you have spent. God is good.
Senior Pastor Alan Lee focused on the church's mission and the passion of their founding father, Pastor Earl W. Weish.
His legacy, I say, must continue. We must bridge the past to the future of this ministry with a renewed commitment to these traits that characterize this man of God who was called by God to start this ministry 50 years ago. As the saying goes, may his tribe increase.
A familiar scene playing itself out once again at a local Baptist church as religious leaders and members remain at odds over leadership issues. As Betty Thompson-Moss tells us, church members are hoping for a resolution.
What was described as a division in Ebenezer Baptist Church erupted to a boiling point this Sunday as embattled members turned up for early morning worship. For weeks now, police say they were called in to ensure peace at the Anglican community-based church. The situation escalated when a group claiming to be the church's ministerial board was apparently locked out.
We're only seeking to put this house in order, and we are being prevented from doing that by our rights here as the boards of these churches.
Reverend Lorenzo Morse, who heads that board, was guarded by a team of private security officers despite the presence of the police. He says his board had to make a decision.
The board of directors of this church made a decision to remove the locks from this church. And the board made that decision, and the locks of the church were removed so that the members can worship freely, not so that this church cannot be secluded to one set of people.
Once inside the church, police tell us access to the sound system was also broken. The atmosphere then became heated. Eyewitnesses say lights were turned off and electrical cords were unplugged as the dispute among members intensified.
So there was just an exchange of words, and some of the persons, his family members who I guess supporting him, they just made their case that they are supporting him, and we love them the same. This is just normal, and there's no love or dissension between the members in here. But we want to regulate the church in accordance with the will of God for this work.
While members worshipped and remained at odds, police stood at the doors and nearby pews. It's an atmosphere and development which the church's executive says he must apologize for.
And we want to apologize to the members of the public. We apologize to the community of Angliston. We apologize to all those who feel that we should be conducting ourselves at a higher level because our call is higher.
So far, a number of religious leaders have met with Ebenezer Church officials in hopes of resolving the dispute.
We have had a number of peace meetings with a number of senior ministers of the gospel in the country and leaders of the various church organizations try to bring resolution, but there is just seem to be no impasse.
The church's pastor, Reverend Elkin Simonet Jr., was also present but offered no comment on the dispute. At least one mediator spoke to both sides on Sunday, hoping for a resolution to the Ebenezer Church uproar. Betty Thompson-Moss, ZNS News.
Thanks, Betty. When we come back, what you should know about fire safety that could save your life and others. That story and more coming up.